Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be talking about Dragon Age 3 and BioWare. Now, Dragon Age 2, yes, was not that good. I'm not going to be saying otherwise. You can't polish a turd and say it's good. Now, we know it's going to continue off of Hawk, without a doubt. And that the community, BioWare's dealing with the community probably is not the best way they've been handling it. But we can get what we really want is a return to Dragon Age Origins and that control in classic RPG style. Now we know this will not be happening, which is a sad thing because that is what made the first one very good, and as a sense itself, what made BioWare so great. That classic formula that they've moved away from. And yes, the Dragon Age 2 was trying to go off after Mass Effect. We know Dragon Age 3. The Inquisition, or whatever they want to call it, is going to be more of the same. Now, they also, from what it looks like, have been ignoring the community's complaints and concerns. I'll go on that later on, but what we can definitely, I can say, without a doubt, we can guarantee it's going to be more like the 2, overly cinematic, really not so much on the choices, and a dialogue wheel just like Mass Effect series. Now, Mass Effect series, that was fine for. Dragon Age, even if they started it off with the wheel, the wheel is way too limiting for any RPG, especially a classical style like this one. Now, the first Origins was the best, the greatest, hands down. Set up a very great universe and characters that you like and enjoy, or you could say these are good characters. In Dragon Age 2, I cannot tell you, I've been replaying it, so it's not like this is from years ago. I'm playing it right now. I cannot tell you any characters that I can like or memorable or anything that really strikes my fancy. Now, this as a whole is the greatest problem with the Dragon Age series. You need to have something that grabs you. They did this before, and whoever's in charge of the style of writing and whatnot has ignored what made them great and just went on about their own thing, doing their own thing. Now, the writer of these games, truth be told, have been acting like pretentious asses. They've been calling their community utterly gross, that their areas is just toxic and horrible, that any of their fans are just childlike and just asinine fanboys. And these are their words. And their attacks against their own community, and the lead writer is just refusing to wanting to go into the area because it's too toxic, too hostile. Now, the problem is when they go like this is them ignoring serious issues. That the community is actually having serious grievances, and when you ignore community or you provoke community by promising them things and not delivering, the community is going to become hostile. There's going to be animosity between you and the community. This is why you have to listen to the community and not ignore them like BioWare has. For whatever reason, they've been ignoring their community. Be it hubris, be they just whatever. They really have not been listening to their community, and this is a great travesty because these games were very good. They were fun, they were enjoyable, they were something that you could pretty much anyone could enjoy. You would have something that no matter what, no matter how hard and difficult and complex it was enjoyable. And the fact that calling the Dragon Age series a RPG is a very big misnomer. You maybe have talent trees, you may have all this, but it is so not so much of an RPG anymore. It's an action button masher with slight RPG elements. Now, if they ignore these, calling it an RPG, and just said Dragon Age 3 was an action game with RPG elements, would I still be happy with them? No, but at least they'd be honest and forthcoming, saying that the series has moved away from its RPG roots. We are more of an action game with slight RPG elements in there. Would that please me? No, it wouldn't, but it would at least placate my dislike of what they've done. At least I'd be able to say at least they're willing to say that they're not what they are anymore, and they're willing to acknowledge that they've changed and that all the things that they're doing, it's nothing wrong with it. They're no longer who they are anymore. And that's the biggest thing, is the fact that when you say you're an RPG and you're supposed to have rich dialogue, rich characters you would fall in love with or want to have by your side, when Dragon Age 2 has none of those. And this is a concern of mine for Dragon Age 3 that is continuing off of Hawk. And the saddest thing is we know that they're going to just continue on the same crap they did before. And I don't believe they've learned from it, because they really attacked their fan base, not only with this, that the writer is just insulting the community, talking about just they're like 14, just acting like children, that they also handled their audience when one guy felt that he did not like the homosexuality in this game. And they just insulted him, belittled him, saying that you're a privileged jackass. This is paraphrasing, but just calling him a privileged elitist scum. Here's the thing. The community, when we raise our grievances, we are saying we do not like these things. Please listen to us. We're not demanding, do this. We're asking, please listen to us and not ignore your community that made you so great, which they have done. And the fact that their response to their community is to belittle, insult them, and degrade them, that is not a sign of a good company. And it's a sign of just refusal to be there for your audience. And this is why it bothers me that whether or not it's the fact that they don't handle they handle themselves worse than the community. The community actually has grievances where they don't even have the dignity to respond to. Even if you feel that they're the most vile person, you respond to them with a mature manner. And BioWare, for whatever reason, is no longer acting like that mature company that we loved with so many of their previous games, from the first Mass Effect to Dragon Age to the Baldur's Gate series. I believe they had a hand in. They have left their roots and they have ignored their community. And when their community cries out saying, please don't forget us, please take us into consideration, maybe not always phrased the right way, and just insulting and belittling them and attacking them for their opinions, this is not how a company should act, and something that we should literally say, we don't want this, listen to us. And when they ignore us, the only thing we have the right to do is literally don't buy their product. And I do feel, yes, everyone has the right and the ability and should complain and criticize each and every one of their works, because we are the community that built them. And if you ignore your community, you're no better than the jerks who ignore just any jerk, a bad company. You ignore us, we have the right to complain. This is a commission. These games are art, and they are commissioned art to us, and we have the right to complain and say we have problems with this. We want our problems solved. They don't have a right to ignore problems and insult us for saying, here, we've made this piece of crap, now deal with it. They have no right to do that. And this is why I will defend the community, even if they get extremely hostile to them, because when you ignore a community that actually... There was no problem with the first Dragon Age, and that is my biggest problem, is that they began taking things away that should not have been taken away. I would have had no problem with maybe, okay, they made it central focus on one character. That's fine. Making the dialogue wheel feel was a bad choice, but okay, let's see how they go with it. We've seen how they've gone with it. A very poor style. These are... And any of the people who actually level grievances at them, most of them are actually civilized and actually have serious grievances that know that there's a problem. We want what we love taken care of. We didn't want a Mass Effect style hack and slasher. If we wanted that, we would have asked for that. And our response being that we didn't like this and then being criticized that we didn't like it is not something that a company should do. They should listen, okay, we have a community that loves our games passionately but has a problem. Let's think about this. And the fact that they're also looking at overly doing cinematics, having linear gameplay, button mashing gameplay that is not what made the original Dragon Age so great, and getting mad at us for criticizing that is not something that they should do. They should go, okay, there's a strong enough community that says we want a return to the old, and what should be done is, okay, they don't like it. Let's see if we can actually do something to make the community appeased and say, okay, how do we balance all groups so we still have challenge and difficulty without making this over-the-top, bland, almost fanboy-esque, fangirl-esque fan fiction of this game, which it has turned into. I don't know what to go on. The only way to communicate to these companies are not buy their product, which is a sad thing, because I really wish there's some other way we could actually legitimately communicate and they would take notice, other than saying, screw you, we're not buying your product. I hope my little bit of what I think this game is going to turn out to be and what helps you out and informs you and tells you what we feel that we know is a true Dragon Age community likes about this game. Please tell me what you think, And thank you, and good night.